How's it going, YouTube? It's Panda time. In this video we have myself playing the Grandracmon deck going up against Gaiomon. Now usually I think the black base Gaiomon is the way to go, but our friend Chris here is showing me that with a red base you can actually run some of the Grandracmon X protection, which actually is super cool. So I do like this take on the Gaiomon deck. I hope you guys enjoy it. For my side, you know, I do like Grandracmon, and we're just trying to make it work, testing out different things for it. It's a fun deck for sure. Trying to figure out, you know, how good it could be. Not the greatest start, as he has to hard drop a Greymon, but as you see, he runs the Greymon X, which lets him get some protection, and then the Metal Greymon actually Digivolves and clears my stack. So all the way rough start with no rookie. He definitely makes the best of it, and is able to end up in a pretty good spot. We're gonna cast the, I think it's the Eye of the Gorgon, but it cannot delete the Metal Greymon because of the protection. And then I learned that if you don't delete the Digimon, you don't get the rookie from the trash. So this is obviously a huge misplay, but you know, it's part of learning the cards. Obviously with no rookie, I was just like, okay, let's just get a rookie and go from there. But we don't get the deletion, we don't get the rookie, and now we're in a terrible spot. He gets to go into the Black War Greymon X, pop our hero, and then honestly just be set up to win this game. He's also found a rookie beyond that, and he should be pretty good. Can just go into Greymon in the back, take it slow. We do finally pick up a Gaiomon, which is gonna let us build in the back, which is kind of nice. Gonna go into the black Gaiomon, who is a black animal and can therefore be Digivolve from the trash, which is really cool with the Grandracmon experience, I would say. The Black War Grey, just gonna sit there menacingly. Gonna actually go into the Gaio and blitz 2 checks. Does hit into a Death X-Mon, which is gonna kill it on first check. So although we had a rough start, you know, security kind of saving our butt there, and now we're back to what I would say is a pretty even game. He's gonna once again use the Greymon X, and you can see how it was so good, you know, because I feel like one of the biggest weaknesses of the Gaio and Black War Grey is that you have this really cool boss monster, they have no protection, they just die instantly, right? So I really like the idea of the Greymon X in that line. Really cool stuff. You can also see he plays Nokias to get some cheap Digivolutions. We have a Skull Grey. No way to actually get the free Digivolution, but we can at least do the card draw. You know, we can swing, discard with Skull Grey, draw for Sunamon, use the Gaiomon effect. So just getting a lot of cycle, you know, putting stuff in the trash that we want, like the Golfmon for the future, and just finding the rest of our pieces. One of the things that I really like about this purple deck for sure. We're then going to go into a Dextagura in the back to just Memory Choke to 1. The Skull Greymon has Retaliation because of the Black Gaiomon, so I feel relatively safe with it. He's gonna go into a Greymon for free, and then Jogriz with Chimeramon. Pretty strong play. I do still love Chimeramon. Can then add a source from the trash, getting the Metal Greymon, so he's able to attack unsuspended Digimon. Really strong stack here. I still love Chimeramon, you know, he puts in so much work, and like, he can always catch your opponent by surprise, right? I feel like as the game evolves, there will always be decks that can utilize Chimeramon well. Now the Skull Greymon still does have the Retaliation, which is, you know, pretty good for us. Gonna swing with the Agu first, just get some chip damage, and then go into the Gaiomon, who can then de-Digivolve and blitz over the Gaiomon. So it doesn't get to do any checks, but it definitely clears my board, and with the Digivolve he actually just does not have to deal with the Retaliation. If I bring up, he can attack my unsuspended stack, so we have to be super careful about that. We're gonna use the Dextoru to get the trash and the memory gain. Just swinging at security to get the Digivolution into the Dextagura, which is kind of nice there, as we should have 5 Dexes in the trash now. So if he does clear the Dextaguramon, we're going to get a Death X-Mon for free, and I feel like this is pretty good, right? I don't know if the Gaiomon is above 13k. He might be based on the inheribles. I think he plays the core ones that gives you plus 1k, so he should be at least 14k. But that said though, if he does swing at the Dextagura, swinging at security here into a Fly Bullet, he does have the protection though. Can't protect from the Jack Raid. Gonna pass over some memory, and then that's gonna be a Blitz Omni for game. So a rough start for both of us, but after some nice back and forth, you can see what both decks are trying to accomplish. You can see how the protection with the Greymon X is actually really strong for the Gaiomon and the Black War Greymon. And on the other hand, I wasn't able to go into the Grandracmon, but you can see how the Dex package lets us potentially get a Deathxmon for free, right? We're going to be building in the back, going into the dog, up against 2 Agumons in the early game. I definitely do like Nokia quite a bit. And just set up a hero to pass turn. Gonna ensure that we have 3 memory for next turn. He gets to run Cool Boy, because again, he's running a little bit of the X package, even if it's just a little bit, right? Very interesting. I do like the deck. Gonna swing into a Digimon, get that Agumon out of here. And I guess perhaps try and just build in the back. It's actually gonna just be a pass. We're able to promote. So Ominous, a good level 5, and go straight into a 6 with the right discards, right? Gonna go into the decks. Gray, pitch the big guy. We get the memory back, so it's a 3-cost evolution. Then we can swing, use the Gaio effect, draw discard. Gonna draw 1 for the Sunamon. And then we could Digivolve from the trash. It's maybe not the ideal Grandracmon line, but it's still pretty good, right? Gonna tap the hero just in case. We have to play the full cost for the decks, but you know, it's a like 15k beater, can swing and cycle every turn, and then when it dies, we're going to get a rookie, or with enough setup, a Deathxmon. So you know, early on, I definitely preferred the Grandracmon to get that turbo free evolution. But you know, the decks to Gura pretty good as well. I do like him quite a bit. He's still, you know, finding those pieces. Gonna go into a Metal Gray in the back. Just let the Agumon sit there to get some searches. So we have memory to work with, a pretty strong beater. Just need to find a way to fuel our trash, right? So we swing, get the draw discard. Again, just keep cycling. There's the Death Dex in the trash. We do need 5 Dexes in trash when the undeletion happens, right? So we gotta get those in trash as soon as possible. Of course, he's gonna count himself and the Deathxmon. Gonna sign up for the tournament, of course you do. Yeah, we both get that nice sign up. Actually, I played the yellow Wargreymon X in this tournament. I definitely want to show you guys more footage of that. But I'm trying and testing the Grandracmon. I do like it. Gonna play Call from Darkness. Usually we use it for the discard effect, but you know, it does have an additional effect to give us a level 4. So you can use to go into a Matadormon. And I guess the idea is to try and memory choke because we just did not have a level 4 in hand, right? Now at this point he can go into a level 6. Pretty good, right? With double or with no KL be a little bit discounted. So putting him at 2 is a good amount, right? Because at 3 he could keep turn, but the Gaio can get the D-Digivolve on the Matador, but then we can block. So he's actually going to D-Digivolve the Dexter, and then he could actually swing at the Matador because he has the Metal Greymon, right? But he's going to swing at the stack. Because he does the D-Digivolve, we don't actually get the Undeletion effect, which is a little bit sad. And Gaiomon put in a lot of work. You know, it's a lot of pressure. He can clear, D-Digivolve, be aggressive with the +1, has reboot, so if you got blocker underneath, he's always going to be able to block. It's a pretty strong Digimon. I definitely do like him. We have Matador, but we don't actually have the Inheritable Stilettos. Digivolve from the trash, which is a little bit awkward. So I'd say we're just not in the greatest spot right now. Thinking about just swinging with the Dracmon, maybe getting some cycle, getting more cards in the trash. So definitely a tough position to be in, because the guy could just swing at whatever we have, right? And just swing with the Matador, put in a Skull Greymon underneath, so at least we can chill with the retaliation. I believe we go to like 12k, then go to a Grandracmon after. It's going to pass turn, but we at least get the free Dracmon, and then the Dracmon's gonna let us add the Matador to our hand. So not bad, right? If he wants to swing over the Grandracmon, then we at least have the retaliation from the Skull Greymon, so I'm okay to trade stacks there, right? And if it doesn't, we can use the Grandracmon to swing, continue the aggression, and then get those free Digivolutions. So it's a pretty good strategy, I think. Definitely a nice way to come back. It's gonna use the Gaia Force 0 though. It is a bit expensive, but he gets to clear the Dracmon and then I guess swing at security. He could swing at one of the Dracmons if he wanted to, and he is just going full control mode. Does pass over a ton of memory, but you know, it was a good answer to the Dracmon. We didn't have a level 4 before, but after all that, we actually do pick one up. Going into the Digimon for the cheap Digivolution. Matadormon for 3. We can now do the swing and the full combo basically, if we want to. Yeah, so we can swing, use the hero, get the discard, then Digivolve from the trash. Gonna go into the Dextagura at a discounted cost. When the Digivolver, it's gonna pop the lowest level, so get that Agumon out of here. And then we're swinging a security for, I believe, 15,000, which is obviously pretty juicy. Gonna just set up in the back, give him as little memory as possible. He's gonna swing at the Dextagura, but at this point we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meaning that on deletion we get a free Deathexmon. And at this point that's way too much as he doesn't have a rookie, and that's actually gonna be the game. So a pretty solid game too. You could see how the Grandracmon deck can utilize both the Grandracmon and the Dextagura as good level 6s. Gonna start with an Analog Youth. I like Analog in this deck because, you know, fueling the trash is obviously important, and you know, having the Tamer for the extra member gain is solid as well, as we do wanna, you know, we have solid on deletion effects, right? Just a pretty solid card. I definitely, I like the card a lot, and I always think of like what decks can run it. Gonna go into a Doru, get the discard to get the draw, and then we get the draw for Sunamon, I believe, so some pretty good synergy. I do like the Sunamon baby. I believe I'm currently testing out 3 Sunamon, 2 Pagamon, which is working out pretty okay. We're gonna see Nokia, and then just some early Greymons, some nice memory choke. There we see the Pagamon, can go into the Dracmon, and I guess just keep setting up. The Doru can swing using the Gaio, draw this card, and the Sunamon, just to cycle through some cards basically. We do swing into a Gaiomon, which is unfortunate, but after that attack we actually see so many cards there, and with a purple memory boost we can pick up our level 5, which we were surely missing. So I think it's a pretty solid turn. Our trash is pretty set up, and we've just seen so many cards with that exchange that like we should be good to have a full line into a level 6, right? Gonna go into a Metal Grade discounted with the Nokia. But it is gonna pass over turn. It's pretty scary because like I could like build up and try and do something, and if I do so, he can potentially just go into a black or gray, right? If I don't, like maybe he just clears my Analog. I'm actually gonna play a Death X. There's 3 things on the board, so it's discounted by 9. It's 11 cost. It does clear the full board though, so this is kind of a risky play. But I figured like I might not have had a great way to answer the black or gray otherwise. It's a nice way to clear the full board. We get a level 7 on the board with a very annoying effect. And, you know, depending on his hand, he could maybe have a way to spend the memory efficiently and then put me in a terrible spot. But it's a card game. You don't always have the best answer. And, like, if he doesn't have a good answer, then the Death X is going to run away with the game. So it's definitely a calculated gamble. We're going to see if it's going to pay off or not. You see him, you know, getting some cycles, but trying to figure out, like, how's he going to spend all this memory, right? Anything he builds on the front is going to get cleaned up by the Deathexmon. So he can use this to try and cycle through, you know, find the level 5 that he might be missing, or whatever other piece he wants. But unless he's gonna guy for his Death X, we're gonna get a clear, right? So it goes into a Metal Greymon X, which we haven't seen before, just to cycle and put me to 1, but it does get cleared by the Death X at the end of his turn, which is pretty good. I feel like that was a good Deathexmon. We can now use it to chip at security with a 15k beater, and I guess try and memory choke. Not gonna use the memory boost just yet until we have a power play of some sort, right? The Death X is still putting in an immense amount of pressure. We can get some free damage every single turn. He's gonna go into the Metal Greymon, which is gonna pass over at least 3 memory, which is kind of nice, is enough to go into a level 5, right? And we do have the memory as well. We're gonna go into the Matadormon. This is like our ideal line. We can then try and go into a Grandracmon, Digivolve from the trash. I think the idea here is to set up a blocker, right? So we're gonna swing, use the effect to draw this card. Then we should get draw from Sunamon, and then we can Digivolve into a Grandracmon from the trash at a discounted cost, so it's still gonna maintain turn. We can then summon the Gracmon from the trash, we get the effect. We can take the Gaio to our hand, I believe. The attack is then going to continue, which is kind of nice. And the end of the attack, we can then Digivolve the Dracmon into a level 4 blocker retaliation. We do hit into an Omnimon X, which is obviously less than ideal. Because it dies, we don't get the end of attack effect, but we do get to tap the analog to get the memory and the hatch going into another Dracmon in the back. So obviously losing the Grandrac there is unfortunate. Like we would have got a free level 4, a free blocker, right? Instead, we're gonna just, I guess, just keep chipping with the Dracmon, And I guess just try and memory choke, right? Gonna go through all the security, the Dracmon even survives. We do hit into a tie though, so meaning that it's not gonna be possible to memory choke anymore. So might as well commit to something a bit bigger. In this case, it's just a Gaiomon. It's an additional body. It might stop any memory gain shenanigans, although I don't think his deck really has any. And Gaio doesn't stop the Tamers, right? He is going to go into a Grandracmon X, so this is pretty scary. Can use the Cool Boy to get the extra memory and the card draw. Has Nokia to work with as well. You know, we could definitely lose to some sort of level 6 plus Blitz Omnimon play here. Very, very scary stuff. You can go into the Blackboard Gray, and then Blackboard Gray can use this effect to clear either 2 rookies or like the analog. But he has no security. He's definitely kind of scared of dying, and he is going to clear both the rookies. Also, I know it's a bit of glare, but the stack does have the Blocker Greymon. So, you know, Blackboard Gray can block twice, and because of the extra 3000 from the Ronald Greymon, he's actually 16 KDP, which is enough for him to just punch over the Death Xmon and get the restand. So a really solid turn there. A good way to answer our aggression. The Grandracmon dying in security was actually so sad there, but that's Digimon, I suppose. Now thinking of how to pass the turn, he's going to use a Delicate Plan on the Blackboard Gray, go into 0, can then go into the Gaio for 2. He's gonna get quite a bit of checks because of the Metal Greymon and the tie. Swinging at security, you know, at like 15 or 17,000 DP with no options activating for 4 checks, pretty strong stuff. However, he does get the reboot, but he doesn't have the double block that Blackboard Greymon has, so he's just dead to double Dracmon swinging. That was a really fun game, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching.